Today I'm going to install this spoiler on my 2006 Nissan Cube. So the first thing I'm going to do is mask up the area. I want to just get an idea of where the wing's going to sit and be able to sort of mark it with a texter. So the next thing I'm going to do is put some tape across the two faces of the wing that touch the car. I'm going to use the windscreen washer as my guide point, and I'm just going to mark that central spot there. So here on the wing we have a plug hole, and there's some threaded sections and a bracket bolts on here. So you can see this piece of trim here. It looks like the majority of our wing sits above this piece of trim, but I'm hoping that there might be some holes to gain access. There are no holes here to indicate where the wing should fit, which sucks a little bit, but such is life. So now I'm going to go ahead and transfer the bolt hole pattern over to the car. Now, a simple way to do that is to grab some blue tack or some plasticine, make little towers there. And with those towers, I'm simply pressing those into the bolt holes. I've just got a little bit of paint, and I'm just going to put a little bit of paint on the top of each one of these towers. I'm just going to press the wing back onto the car using our central mark that we made earlier. So we'll go ahead and we'll transfer those paint dots. So doing that method, you've effectively just made a stamp using the wing as the stamp. And I'll bring you in and show you. So you can see here we've transferred all 4 of those marks across. So I've gone through and done the whole process again. I've retwisted the towers into the blue tack, and this time I've put some yellow paint on top. Now I'm going to go press the wing on. So making sure to line up that center mark that we did previously, and pressing the wing back onto the car. And you can see here we have yellow and black paint, yellow and black paint, yellow and black, yellow and black. So I can be very confident now that I've got my mountings in the right location. So next I'm going to use a Christmas tree bit. So I'm going to drill those out to 6.4mm. Now I just want to double check those holes I've just drilled. I've just stuck a couple of taps in. I don't have any threaded rod, I've only got bolts. So I've stuck a couple of taps in, and I'm just going to make sure that those holes line up. So those holes line up perfectly. Now I know I'll be able to secure the wing regardless of the other fasteners. The next problem I have to solve is fitting these clips. These are the outside fasteners. So we'll go ahead now and roughly install the rubber grommet. And we'll we'll press the wing into place. So now we've proven that we can press the wing into place using that grommet with that size drill. So now the next step is to drill through the inner door skin on the car, so we'll be able to attach a fastener from the inside out. So now you can see we chased some holes through into the inner door skin. Now we need to drill the hole big enough to put our fastener through. So I'm going to drill a 12mm hole here. Our rubber grommet will press in to an 11.5mm hole, so that's a good size. So I'll go ahead and deburr those holes. So next I've got some rust proofing paint, but I just want to be sure to put a bit of a coat on the inside. So now it's time to pull the tape off the car. So now we want to deburr the holes on the outside and put some rust proofing paint on. So we're over at the bench now. We're going to remove the tape we put on the wing earlier. So now we're going to put the double-sided tape onto the wing. First thing I want to do is use some isopropyl to clean that down. You just want to spray it onto the rag, not onto the paint. I've never had an issue spraying it onto the paint, but I don't want to test it. I did only paint this wing a week or so ago. So I'm going to put tape across the front side and in this section along the back side. And I might put a couple of pieces in the corners also. So I don't know if you can see from there, but there is a lip just at the edge of this spoiler. So I'm just going to follow that lip so the double-sided tape doesn't hold the spoiler up above the car. It is actually almost the perfect width of the double-sided tape, which is fantastic. At the moment, there's nothing stopping water getting under this lip and coming inside the door. So what I'm going to do is glue some O-rings around here. So when we fit the wing to the car, these O-rings will seal against the panel and stop any water getting in. So I have these thin, they are actually about the same thickness as the double-sided tape. So very thin silicone O-rings that I'm going to glue in place so they don't fall out while we install it. I'm going to glue them from the back side so they'll seal against the car side. So I'm simply going to draw a circle where the O-ring is sitting, very roughly. It doesn't really matter. And now we'll go ahead and pop a bead of glue around that line we just drew. So we're just going to go ahead and let that glue set. We're about to do the final install on this wing. I've peeled off the backing tape on the double-sided tape. Now let's press it onto the car. So I'm just going to use some masking tape to hold it in place until we've got the bolts in. So probably overkill also. I've put a silicone O-ring on the back of this bolt just to further stop any water coming into the car. Now it's time to install our rubber grommets. So now we'll reinstall the trim. Make sure that's installed correctly. You don't want to be driving along with rattles and misdiagnosing the wing. And now time for the big reveal. Let's see what it looks like. I'm not a professional wing installer. This is merely the way that I chose to do it. You are going to have to drill holes in your car if you do it the way that I've done it. So really decide ahead of time if the advice that I give you is worth following. So there it is. That's the install of this wing on my 2006 Z11 Nissan Cube. I'm really happy with the way it looks and the way it came out. If you've got any questions about the processes I used today or any of the tools that I used to fit this wing, don't hesitate to contact me and I'll put some contact information down below.